Now, it is sad to hear that bandits now abandoned the highways and farms to kidnap people in their homes. On Wednesday, government raided a community along Suleja Madala Road in Niger State and abducted residents, especially children, from their homes. A witness said the victims were taken from 3 houses and a hotel within that area. It's a new style. When people are trying to even avoid traveling in the highway, the road and everything, now staying at home becomes difficult again.
Yeah,
where do we go to?
It's not a new style, really.
You said it's Taraba.
They've been doing it. Even in Kaduna, the Chikun local government, they go into your house, break down your door and bring you out. So it's not, then in the Abuja area, some of those towns close to the FCT, Tungamaje, Buhari, they go into people's homes and kidnap them. They vary their tactics, they vary their methods. So it's not all the time that they simply go to the highways to kidnap people. They go to the farmlands, they go to people's farms to kidnap people. I once talked about a retired soldier in the Abuja area who was on his farm and then they came. They were going to take him away. So he pleaded with them that he had $10,000 in his car, that they should please take it. So they forgave him, took the $10,000 and left. So you are your farm, they come and pick you up. So it is unfortunate that in the case of Niger, which is if we are going by records this year, that is the state where people have been kidnapped the most in our country.
Niger State.
Yes. So for some time now, we are not hearing stories about the Shiroro area. But those children that were picked up at that Quranic school in Tegina, they are still in their hands.
I mean,
about 150 of them, they are still in their hands. Now the same bandits in Niger State, they are moving to communities not far from Abuja, because all of these places, Madala, Suleja, they are not far from Abuja. And that's the reason that even in Abuja, people have to be cautious, because these guys are moving closer and closer. In the Buhari area, some schools have been shut because the management of those schools are not convinced that this thing can happen, and they have no means by which they can protect the schools. If bandits, yes, they close the school. They close some schools in that area, you know. And this is a lesson for us. The university in Abuja, because just the whole of that area, you see forests and all that, they need to protect that university a lot more. I've been saying this because right up to Abaji, going towards Kogi, bandits are all over that area. So we need to do our best to protect our people a lot more. Hearing of children being kidnapped is really distressing. It breaks one's heart to see these things happening. And there are videos of even people being tortured, so that you have an idea of what will happen to you when you get kidnapped and ransom is not paid quickly. There are videos all over the place. People are using knife to torture people, putting permanent lacerations on people's bodies, just because some people have been unlucky to fall into the hands of these animals in human skin.
This is a new style, going to people's homes, and it's really scary.
And it's like we are becoming more and more helpless, because the soldiers are doing their best, the police trying their best. In spite of that, the crisis of banditry is getting worse. And to me, the one I find most disturbing is those who go to school, abduct children in a section of the country where school enrollment is even a problem. We are sending a very terrible...
I saw a picture today that military in the northeast escorting some, I don't know the particular states, escorting some children to school.
Okay.
They were right in front of them and right behind them. They were escorting those kids.
Which is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Even if you have the if you have the largest army in the world, it's not a sustainable thing. It's not sustainable, and it's so disturbing. And it's like we are now just appearing helpless, as if nothing else can be done. All that we have tried, nothing else has worked. Nothing has worked.
Ali, I want to ask you, the situation in Niger State, particularly about these bandits. What do you make of it? Banditry across the country. Okay, Jide, I think we lost connection right there, because I would have loved to.
Yes, he's in the area.
Yes.
He's in the north. Moves around a lot, so I think only his home state of Kano is relatively, and Jigawa too, relatively safe. But you know, they even go as far as kidnapping people in Katsina and taking them to Jigawa to hide, because the police had to go and bust some kidnappers in Jigawa, and I'm like, Jigawa again? They just kept them in a hamlet there. You know, you will not think that they could take people all the way to those places. So nowhere is safe. That is the point. And for some of us who are complaining about this, we have a reason. We can't be watching people suffer. We have conscience. Some don't have, Ayo. It's a fact that some don't have. But we have conscience. We can't watch people. Look at that video. Can anyone who complains that Jide talks about security all the time, Jide is always criticizing government about security, do they have the good conscience to watch that video? Watch a human being being cut open with knives by people who are demanding that ransom should be paid on time? Tell them to pay on time. Tell them to pay on time. And you are cutting people. Those who have been tortured, you see them on the ground, you see lines, uncountable lines on their bodies. And you see women being flogged mercilessly. And you don't, why won't we talk, Ayo? Why won't we talk? Who can watch those things and not be bothered? Because you can just put yourself in that position. That what if it was me? A friend of mine who lost his friend, who was a regional manager in a bank. He said the guy was diabetic. That the moment they picked him, they were just praying that within 4 days he should be released. That if he exists 4 days, because he did not have his drugs, if he exists 4 days, they knew he would die. So by the 4th day, they released his corpse. They just saw his corpse by the roadside.
Okay, let's go to Ali in Abuja. Ali, banditry seems to be a very big challenge up north.
Yes, it is. It's very, you see, it's very disturbing. We have talked about this often, that Abuja is not as safe as it used to be. In all the travel warnings given to diplomats in Abuja, there is a concentric cycle. If you go beyond it, even in Abuja, if you go beyond this concentric cycle, you are on your own, literally. And that cycle, 3-layer. Once you are getting outside the city gate, is not safe, is not advisable. Foreign missions routinely give this advice, this security advice. Now, Madala, like Jide rightly pointed out, it's just 40 minutes drive from the central area. But you see, the daring exploit of bandits is not so much because it's a statement that the state is overwhelmed. The state cannot guarantee security. And in Niger, you must commend the efforts of vigilantes. But even then, they've been overwhelmed.
Yes.
Why? Because you can't expect someone with cudgels and clubs to face someone wielding AK-47. And some of these bandits, they are not ordinary bandits. They are a crossbreed of bandits and terrorists. And now there are instances like the latest kidnapping. You could see that it was like they have done a lot of reconnaissance before they went there, forcefully took away these unfortunate kids and move away with them. Last year or thereabout, some bandits made the daring foray into Abuja, into a densely populated neighborhood. Kubwa is a well-known place. They went, forcefully kidnapped and took away someone, and I think a journalist at the time. But you see, this thing keeps on happening because the state is overwhelmed. Maybe time to consider this issue about community policing. But even at that, can community policing challenge these marauders?
All right.
Because every
We have to leave it there.
action they make,
Our time is
every
fast spent.
successful
You have to leave it there.
kidnapping.
Adekunle Yusuf, thank you for your contribution. Thank you so
Always
much.
glad to
And,
be here.
but Biki, we have to thank
Ali M. Ali.
Ali M. Ali, the editor-in-chief of the People's Daily.
Yes, it's been a fantastic debut for him. He's been my friend in Kano for years, since the early 90s. And he remains the stubborn human being that he is. So he's had a good outing today, and we know that we'll see a lot
Let's do
more.
it again.
We'll see a lot more of this stubborn.
Yes, let's do it again. Ali M. Ali. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, that's Journalist Hangout today. And don't forget to join us for Journalist Hangout on Sunday, 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.